When a person vanishes, the circumstances of their disappearance are often mysterious and hold little clues to what became of them. Sometimes their vanishing is suspected to have taken place under suspicious circumstances, such as kidnapping, whereas other disappearances can take place with seemingly no motive at all. During a missing persons case, the victim's personal items are investigated to see if any clues have been left behind as to their whereabouts. Here are 5 letters written by people before they vanished. Number 5. Gladys Stella Kidd left her Rowan County, Kentucky home on August 6, 1990 and was never seen again. In a strange twist of events, Gladys was heard from one last time before she disappeared forever. She was 71 years old at the time of her disappearance, described as a Caucasian female with brown hair, 1 brown eye, and 1 green eye. She wears glasses and stands around 5'5" and weighs about 140 pounds. In today's time, Gladys would be 100 years old, and her 101st birthday is coming up on May 20th. A few days before her disappearance, Gladys sold her Rowan County farm for around $56,000 and had cashed the check at a local bank. The bank advised Gladys that it would be best to exchange this in the form of a cashier's check, but Gladys insisted that they give her cash. A few days after she received the money, she was gone. According to her granddaughter, Gladys had a secret boyfriend who was adamant no one in her family or friend circles were allowed to know his true identity. He would not speak to her family on the phone and never made appearances with her in public. The secret boyfriend even went as far as to tell Gladys that not even people in her church congregation could know who he was. So what was he hiding? The day Gladys disappeared, she drove her car into downtown Lexington, Kentucky, left the keys in her car, and simply vanished. All she took with her were some clothes and a filing cabinet, and the rest of her house was untouched, leaving friends and family baffled. 17 days after she disappeared, her son received a letter which was postmarked Lexington, Kentucky. Part of the letter reads, "Don't try to find me, I would just leave." This letter caused great concern for friends and family, as it could not be verified whether she wrote the letter of her own volition or whether she was forced. Since that fateful day on August 6, 1990, Gladys's Social Security benefits have never been collected. Her driver's license has never been renewed, and all of her other accounts have seen no activity. Her family remain hopeful about finding out the truth about what happened to their beloved Gladys. It should be noted that her husband passed away 7 years before she disappeared, although friends and family don't know that's connected to her vanishing. DNA is available in Gladys's case, along with partial dental records. If you have any information, you're urged to contact Kentucky State Police Trooper Toby Gardner at 606-784-4127. The case number you'll need is 894-0029. Number 4. Ambrose Bierce was an American journalist and poet during the early 20th century. To add to his accolades, Ambrose was a veteran of the American Civil War and wrote a book called Tales of Soldiers and Civilians about his experience. For many pieces of writing, Ambrose is considered to be one of the most influential journalists in the US for his time, and is considered to be the godfather of realist fiction. Many in the literary world place him among greats such as Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft, and his impact on the world of literature cannot be understated. However, his many accolades and accomplishments are often overshadowed by his bizarre disappearance in 1913. According to some accounts, 71-year-old Ambrose left his Washington, D.C. residence to undertake a tour of Civil War battlefields. Taking his time to remember and reflect, Ambrose saw himself travel through Louisiana before passing into El Paso in Mexico. The last known contact for Ambrose came in the form of a letter dated December 26, 1913, to his close friend. It appears that Ambrose was in El Paso at the time as an observer of the revolution that was currently unfolding. In doing so, he also witnessed the Battle of Tierra Blanca. The letter closed with the line, "As to me, I leave here tomorrow for an unknown destination," leaving friends and fans of his writings stunned. Did Ambrose simply want to start a new life in Mexico, or was he killed during the Bloody War? Some theories even suggest that Ambrose committed suicide and his trip to Mexico was a red herring to cover his tracks. A full-scale investigation was launched by the U.S. Consular Office, but little evidence of what became of Ambrose came to light. While Ambrose is still celebrated as one of Civil War era's literary greats, his name also brings an air of mystery. Number 3. When Police Chief Mel Wiley went missing on July 28, 1985, from Hinckley Township in Ohio, Suspicions were immediately raised. Why would a seemingly successful police chief just vanish into thin air? Before he vanished, he wrote a letter to a female friend, and the letter functioned as somewhat of a suicide note, as he mentioned that he's fed up with his life and wanted to simply disappear. The letter told his friend that he would be 2,500 miles away by the time that the letter reached her. However, the letter was never received, meaning the letter was either lost in the post or was never sent at all. Investigators digging into Wiley's disappearance found the contents of the letter after inspecting the ribbon on his typewriter. They also noted that his apartment was left in an extremely neat condition, not the way you'd expect a single 47-year-old cop to be living. His front door was locked, but he'd left a window open. His fridge was empty apart from a jar of mayonnaise, and his cats had been left extra food and water to last them for a few days. Most of his items were missing, such as his music collection, stamps, and most of his clothes. Wherever Wiley was going, it didn't seem like he intended on returning to Ohio anytime soon. On July 30th, 1985, Wiley's car was discovered parked near Lake in Ohio. Inside was his clothes, his wallet, and a small amount of cash, credit cards, and his police badge, as well as a towel and a packet of cigarettes. His abandoned car and the mysterious letter that never arrived are the last two clues that we have in the case of Mel Wiley. Many theories point towards him going for a swim in the lake and drowning, but according to his friends and family, he hated the water. Mel Wiley was legally declared dead in 1993. At the time of his disappearance, he was 47 years old, standing 5'11" and weighing 165 pounds. Mel has radiation burns on his arms and neck and a wart on his nose. If you have any information, you're urged to contact the Medina County Sheriff's Office at 330-725-9166. Number 2. On November 29, 1980, a vicious storm carrying gale force winds ripped through Vancouver Island, leaving residents without power and terrified for their safety. That evening was no time for a gentle stroll around the neighborhood, nor was it time to be hanging out with friends. Nevertheless, 32-year-old Granger Taylor left a note on his parents' bedroom before vanishing and never returning home again. The only thing that Granger took with him was his 1972 Datsun pickup truck, leaving behind clothes, possessions, and $10,000. If he'd planned to run away, surely he would have at least taken these with him. Granger was described as an intelligent yet eccentric man. After dropping out of school in the 8th grade, he took up an apprenticeship as a mechanic. Granger soon found his calling and excelled in the world of mechanics, even building a single-cylinder automobile at just age 14. He soon became bored with the world of mechanics, though, and turned his attention to things otherworldly, such as UFOs. He even undertook the project of building a UFO replica in his garden, and according to his parents, spent hours obsessing over interstellar travel. In his mind, Granger believed that he'd been contacted telepathically by aliens. He told family and friends about these interactions and also told them that he'd been invited to view an alien ship in November of 1980. Many of his friends and family brushed this off as Granger pulling a practical joke, or simply being a part of his vivid imagination, but that was until his parents found the note that he'd left before vanishing. The letter read, "Dear Mother and Father, I've gone away to walk aboard an alien ship, as recurring dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe, then return. I'm leaving behind all of my possessions to you, as I'll no longer require the use of any. Please use the instructions in my will as a guide to help. Love, Granger." Many believe that Granger had a psychological break and that he believed he was making contact with an alien ship. But did he die from the inability to keep himself safe in such harsh conditions, or did he meet with foul play? So far, in the case of Granger Taylor, answers have been few and far between. Jacques Rainwater didn't have an easy start in life. He was born to a mother who was addicted to crack cocaine, and in the process, he was exposed to it while he was still in the womb. As a result of his mother's drug abuse, Jacques was taken into protective custody by the state. He had a host of emotional and mental health issues, the main one being reactive attachment disorder, a disorder that leaves sufferers with the inability to form relationships. Jacques' life didn't get much easier from here either. By the time of his disappearance in 2007, he'd spent 11 short years of his life in 6 different foster homes. He was described as intelligent and bright by his former foster parents, but at the same time, he was a very troubled young man. In 2007, he was living with his adopted parents, Stephen Kerr and his wife, Jocelyn McDonald. He'd lived there for 5 years, and finally, he was starting to feel settled in and had a sense of family and stability in his life. His life with the Kerrs wasn't without incident though, as Stephen Kerr reported that Zelich had threatened a younger child in his home school group and that his adopted mother was afraid of him and what he might be capable of. In the weeks before his disappearance, the Kerrs phoned a crisis hotline set up to help foster and adoptive parents in their time of need. During this phone call, they asked whether it would be possible to reverse their adoption of Zelich, as they simply couldn't cope anymore. They were advised that the adoption couldn't be reversed, but the state of New York was able to provide care and ongoing support for the family. Until November 1st, 2007, Zelich was in the care of Elaine and Tom Pearson, who'd cared for Zelich previously. On November 1st, 2007, he was set to return home to the Kerr family. However, Stephen had made plans for Zelich to be replaced in yet another respite care home. That was until Zelich was reported missing. On the morning of November 1st, 2007, Stephen awoke to find a note that Zelich had left behind. The note read, "Dear everybody, I'm sorry for everything. I won't be a bother anymore. Goodbye." At 8:57 a.m., he was officially reported missing. While the Kerr family viewed the note as Zelich saying goodbye before he ran away, the Pearsons said that the letter had been a piece of assigned homework while Zelich was in their care. The homework is designed to let Zelich apologize to get his feelings onto the paper before apologizing to his parents in real life. There are many theories in his case, and many think that his adoptive parents may have been involved in his disappearance, and they'd been trying desperately to get the adoption reversed. Other theories speculate that he could have run away and joined a gang, as a note was found by his adoptive family that could have indicated this, but the note was never verified or confirmed to be true. Zelich Rainwalker is a biracial male with brown hair and green eyes. He was 12 years old at the time of his disappearance in 2007 and stood around 5'6" and 105 pounds. He has a speech impediment which causes him to pronounce the letter R as a letter W. He was last seen in a bright yellow pullover fleece, a gray t-shirt that had a dragon on the front, blue jeans, and black high-top trainers. If you have any information about his disappearance, you're urged to contact the Greenwich Village Police Department at 518-692-9332. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.